we talk a lot at Beyond the Crucible about self-reflecting. In fact, we have what we call the actionable truths of Beyond the Crucible. And that's one of the top ones is self-reflection. And you sort of walk through that a little bit. After a setback, let me ask you this, right? The most critical action is to slow down and listen, but that can come. Yes, you were reading your Bible, you were communing with God, but even people who perhaps don't have the same faith that you have, it can come in the form of self-reflection, right? Because you talked a little bit about self-reflection. What we tell ourselves truthfully about ourselves is an important part of how we bounce back from a crucible. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great observation. And slowing down and taking time. My wife and I were actually just talking about this a couple of weeks ago, that during that season, I could have gone off and gotten another job. I could have started looking for the next corporate opportunity. But it was the fact that I took time and intentionally slowed down and said, okay, I'm not. And even to that point, career coaching wise, I actually encourage folks to identify what their runway is. And often that runway is longer than what they tell you. Yeah, if they really stop and think about it. And then I said, break it out in thirds. And I said, for that first third, don't take anything. Just stop, slow down, listen, and open up to the world of possibilities. And really, and to your point, Gary, I mean, a lot of it is self-reflection too. I mean, it's getting into how am I wired? How am I created? What are my gifts? What are my talents? And in coaching, I think, you guys are both familiar with coaching process. And the first step of that is a lot of times is just getting people conscious of who they are. And so that was the season. And in the season that, I think that really when you get into the 40 days, that was a lot of it was just the self-reflection, getting conscious of who am I? What are my gifts? What are my talents? How am I created? And then it was like, okay, now how do you go from that, take that next step? Where do we go from here? And that's where the journey really began. I mean, that was just the beginning for me. And then the journey started to unfold from that point.